Welcome back, everybody. You know, spring is a season of fresh starts, and that can include what we eat. So let's get healthy here, guys. Diana Guevara, a nutritionist with UTHealth Houston, joins us with some easy ways to add more fresh foods to our meals, maybe even grow some at home. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
So you're here to brighten us up and get us started on this kind of more green diet. How can we add more fruits and veggies to our meals? What are some easy ways to do that?
So my favorite way is just finding your favorite fruits and vegetables. So exploring different things. Right now we're in spring, so it's a really exciting time to still enjoy those cool weather vegetables, things like your leafy greens. I love a baby spinach. You can just throw that into whatever. You don't have to prep it, you don't have to cut it, you don't even have to cook it. But roasting is also a really delicious way to enjoy your vegetables. So if you like something a little bit more warm, more exciting, that can be a great way to add a little bit more to your meals.
Okay, now because it's spring, we also might be thinking about planting. Are there some easy ways that we could start planting some of our own produce without thinking that we're running a whole farm?
Yes, absolutely. So starting small is the best way, because then you can really see how it takes, what areas to enjoy. So a container garden is really one of the easiest ways. You don't have to dig up your whole yard or find the perfect spot. You can just get a big kind of gallon bucket, add some soil, and using transplants. So going to your local nursery and getting little seedlings that are already, starting to grow.
Okay.
So you don't have to start from scratch.
What are some of your favorites to grow in Houston that we know do well? I think tomatoes, right?
Tomatoes are good. It's right now, this weekend is probably the last of the time to really get your transplants in the ground for this season. So it's a great time to start your tomatoes. I think radishes are really one of the best ones right now because they grow so quickly. So it's kind of a quick return on your investment. You just plant your little seeds and then they come out in like maybe not even a month.
Oh,
They're
wow.
really ready.
I didn't know that. We have bunnies. I'll bet they would love
Yes.
for us to do that. We need to start that. Okay.
Absolutely.
I think herbs are also another really easy way, right? That we
Yes.
can just think about
Certainly.
spicing up our foods.
And it's a great way to add flavor to your meals. Sometimes when we think about healthy eating, we think it's boring and not very exciting. So adding those fresh herbs, we can still take advantage a little bit of the cilantro, parsley. That's more of a cool weather herb.
Okay.
But anything like your rosemary, your thyme, and even basil going into the summer is great.
Okay, good to know. Okay. If you're like me and you're like, well, I'm not really ready to start a garden right now. I can't even get the laundry done on time. Let's talk about some alternatives. When I go to the store, I always wonder, are the frozen vegetables a good alternative, or should I really stick to fresh in under any circumstances?
Yes, so frozen is actually a really great option because they get to ripen to their full potential on the vine or on the tree or wherever they're growing. And then they're frozen pretty much immediately. So you're gonna get the most nutrients out of those frozen fruits and vegetables. As long as there's no added, salt or sauce or anything crazy in there, it's just your frozen vegetable. It's a really great option.
Okay, and then any good rules of thumb when it comes to steaming and cooking our vegetables? I know I've heard this about broccoli because it is such a healthy vegetable, but there are some better ways to cook it versus other ways. What does research tell us about that?
Yeah, so a lot of our fruits and vegetables, our vitamins are water soluble and also our minerals. So if we do something like a boil, if we boil our vegetables for too long or there's too much water content and we're not eating that water, we're losing a lot of those nutrients in the water. So your vitamin C is one that's very sensitive to also heat. So if we overcook our vegetables, then we're losing some of that vitamin C, and broccoli is a great source of vitamin C. So as little heat as possible, as little cooking as possible is really the best way to get most of your nutrients.
Okay, and you can always just eat it raw, right?
Exactly.
As the weather warms up, that always sounds better and better, right?
Yes, it's so delicious right now.
Okay, so many good tips. Thank you for joining us.